Originally, I've gone on many mission trips, and this one was unique. I've gone to stateside, not stateside, but this one was different because it was so close to home, and I've always wanted to do something that's close to home. In Chicago, how much closer can you get? We had a team of 6 women that went.
Hey there, my name's Tiffany Potts. I am one of the ladies that went on the Chicago mission trip to the Chicago Dream Center.
I really try and find a mission trip or some ministry opportunity I can do each year. I kind of been thinking about what I should be able to do this year and praying about it, and then they mentioned a trip to Chicago. I've not really done missions in a city before, and it sounded right, so I did it.
I used to live out in the suburbs of Chicago, and we used to go out into the streets and witness, and that was where my heart was. And when Pastor announced that there was a mission going to Chicago, I was sitting next to Bev Borton, and I looked at her and I said, I want to go, and she looked at me.
She said she was going on the mission trip. She's from Chicago. She has gone to homeless shelters. She's talked with homeless. She's gone to the streets. They used to do it all the time. She was my, okay, she's done this, because I've never done this before. And I was very, very nervous.
Well, I know one thing that was different for me for this trip. I felt like this one was very prayer oriented. Very quickly, God set us up to be praying for things. Like the minute someone mentioned a need or a struggle or a worry, we brought it to prayer.
Some of the most meaningful moments for me on the trip were serving alongside those lovely ladies, serving the Lord with them, getting to know them, encouraging them as they encouraged me.
We had a team building exercise one night before we went out to Bridge to Life, and we were partnered up. Michelle was my partner, and we were told to write down, I think 6 positive things about each other. And I still have my little card, complete with all of the hearts and love.
Oh, it was an awesome team. Awesome team. We all had the same desire in our hearts to serve the Lord.
But it was really good to fellowship with the other ladies that went and to learn and grow in the Lord and to be able to serve the community in that way.
Going in, we had several different team members who either had family members who were dealing with physical issues or ailments, and some of the people there in the ministry that we were with, some of them shared that some of their family members have been dealing with different physical things or grief. There was just a lot of that going around.
During the trip, my second oldest niece, Hope Garza, came down with COVID and was hospitalized. And I was asked to stay there with her because her parents also had COVID and couldn't be there with her. And I had a choice to make. Do I go and sit with my niece, or do I have faith that the Lord is going to make her well, that the Lord is going to heal her, that the Lord has already started to heal her, and obey what I was supposed to be doing in the first place? So I decided to go on this trip and just keep hope in the Lord, all the puns intended, that He's got her. And she's well. She's doing great. She's home. She's recuperating. It's awesome.
God even used all of those struggles to increase our, to bring out more prayer, or to bring in the spirit of prayer. So we were all in prayer for each other. So not only were they not distractions, but God used them to make us all better ministers.
I have never prayed as much as I prayed on this trip. It was amazing. God was right there with us every step of the way, and it was prayer. It absolutely was prayer. This is us heading out on the trip, not knowing what to expect. We did not know what we would be doing. I took a lesson from one of my team leaders previous on a trip I was, which was flex powder, flex powder, flex powder. So you go in not knowing, and you just wait to see what the good Lord is going to do on that trip. You are open to wherever He wants you to go, whatever He wants you to do, and each day, no matter what that is, you're ready for what's to come.
And one of the things we did know is that they had a lot of different opportunities. They had like a list of like 6 different ministries that they offered. And so knowing that we had different opportunities to do actual physical work or to do handing out food or different things like that. And then also some that were going to be interpersonal, where we went in and like were able to talk to people. Like we knew that they had those kind of options.
It was a good trip to go up there and serve along with the Chicago Dream Center.
Chicago Dream Center is where we went, and the Dream Center does tons of different missions, and when you go in, each day we never knew what we were going to do. It was very up in the air. You know, one day you might be doing demolition on a house, cleaning up a yard. The next day or that night you might be working with the homeless, or you might be making meals, or in a resale shop, clothes shop for the homeless people to come into, or a food pantry. There was a wide variety of things that we did.
The ladies at the Chicago Dream Center were so amazing, and they helped us so much, from making food to us, to showing us around, to instructing us on how to do some of the things that none of us had ever done before. We just really thought they did an amazing job for us, and we just thank them so much.
And it was really interesting to be able to work alongside them and to see what efforts they've put into helping reach the lost and everything for the city.
On the first work day, Vicki helped at the thrift store sorting and organizing clothing and donated items. The funds raised at this thrift store support feeding centers for children in 7 different countries around the world.
Others of us helped clean up an attic and demo a kitchen in an apartment for a church in the area. Here we are at the end, dumpster full, attic cleared out, kitchen cabinets, and counter demoed.
In the evening, we went to pass out lunches with the Bridge to Life team.
We passed out soap and hope bags. Here we are preparing our soap and hope bags. We packaged 100 bags to give out to those on the streets. So we wanted to go into it where not only were we meeting a need of people in need, because you don't just go in and start talking about Jesus and not meet the needs. They have so many needs. So a physical need for them is to be clean, to have clean clothes and to have a clean body. So in our soap and hope bags, we would put a washcloth, we have soap, shampoo, we put in dryer sheets and wash pods for them. To just meet a physical need on the outside, and then we also prepared a meal and we would take that to them. So outside we were working on that. That's external. Internal, more important, because it's a forever thing. If we are not getting the inside cleaned out, telling them about Jesus and sharing a hope when there is no hope for some of them. So we did give them a little Bible and some tracts, just a variety, and it varied. And we would take these out to the homeless.
I really liked the Bridge to Life, where we could go out and talk to the different people that are in Chicago, and I was able to use some of my Spanish skills. So that was really neat, because a few of times we were talking to a few of them and they didn't know what we were they didn't understand us. And then I was able to step in and talk to them in Spanish. And so
before we went out with our meals to bring our meals to the homeless, we sat in a circle, and Philip, who was the leader, he would have us all share something, and then he would share a word of encouragement, and then we'd pray and we'd go out. It was done with a very calm spirit. There was not a spirit of fear.
Just going through the streets of Chicago and seeing all these broken people, it really blew my mind, actually.
And just tents from each side, all rows of people just living in tents. And I feel like it was like a little funny thing that you knock on their tent and ask them, hey, we're here, do you want some food?
And then if they did, great. Some of them did not, and we would ask them their name, have a little conversation with them, and ask if they needed prayer.
When we were visiting the men and women on the streets, I really loved being able to give them some food, offer to pray with them and to talk with them. The prayers were so heartfelt.
And some of them just would pray with us, and some of them just bowed their head and were very reverent. And then if they didn't want prayer, we would still ask them their name and pray for them when we got back on the bus.
To be honest, before I went on this trip, I had a negative mindset towards homeless people. So I'm like, why can't they just go get a job? Like, why are they begging on the side of the road? They should just, I was very judgmental, and the Lord used this trip to soften my spirit and to soften my attitude and my perspective of them.
One of the nights we went out, we were going and bringing meals to the homeless, and so we went out with our team leader.
We had a big public transportation type of a bus that we would travel to and fro. And anyhow, we came up to an area of homeless, and there was a large fence, chain link fence, next to our vehicle that we pulled up to. So this particular trip, I was the last one off of the bus, and our team was there. I was walking around, and there was a man on the fence over here.
I was next to her, and I did experience. I went first, and I said, "Do you want something to eat?"
And he was very, very angry. He has grabbed onto the fence, his neck muscles were bulging, and he was just screaming all types of profanity at us.
I didn't even really hear it. He was very angry and very aggressive, and he was up on the fence screaming and yelling, "Go home, you guys don't belong here, you get back in your van, you get out, we don't want you here."
And so I walked away, and then Diana, she persisted to go.
And the good Lord, I just felt such pain for him because he was so angry. So I went over to talk to him and to offer him a care package. And so when I asked, we came because we care about you and we want to give you this care package. And what I noticed about him was his eyes. The pupils are jet black. The whole pupil is black. And what I found out later is this is either drug induced, that they're just dilated that much, or he has a demon.
You could see the devil in his eyes. She saw Satan in that man.
And the leader that was with us came over when he saw that I was talking to him, and I can hear him say, "In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you. In the name of Jesus, I rebuke you."
So he said, "Satan, get out." And the man stopped. And to see that, that's something that you just don't see every day.
Was just like nothing had happened. He was calm. He didn't speak. He was just, that demon had fled. At the sound of Jesus' name, that demon fled, and God showed himself so big. His name is mighty, and it is to be feared. And the man just kind of walked with us, side by side along the fence, and then he kind of just peeled off and went in his tent and was just calm. And we were told later that he has received prayer before.
The man, they pray with him every week, and he's normally very, very friendly, very talkative, and he allows them to pray with him almost every week. And it was very unusual for him to be acting out like this.
And it was just a demon possession, which I have never seen before. But what I saw was that my God is greater than anything that was in, Satan may be alive in Chicago, but my God is greater than anything that he brought up against us that day. Yes, to say that there was fear, yeah. There was absolutely fear there, but then an overriding sense of peace. What took me over to talk to him? It was absolutely God. On a normal day, would I walk over and talk to somebody that had such anger? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Not all of them are bad people. Not all of them are choosing to be homeless. I mean, really, who would choose to be homeless?
It doesn't matter where they came from, what they look like, or how they live. They need Jesus. Who am I to judge? I'm not any better than they are.
As I said, we prayed often, and we would just ask whoever wanted prayer. And this man came up to me He was trudging along, and if you see the picture of him, he's all hunched over, and he said, "Can you pray for my hand? I don't have use of my hand." And he showed me, he's like, "See, I have one up and one was just down." And he just asked me to pray for his hand, and so I just took his little precious hands in mine and just prayed for healing on that hand. You know, God's will heal him of this. And we had tons of opportunities to pray for people, all with all sorts of afflictions and drug addictions and some really hard things that were happening with them. And God gave us opportunity to do that.
Workday 2, we cleaned out a house and we did a yard for the Chicago Dream Center.
Diana, that would be me, gave us instructions on how to make balloon animals for a few kids. Elizabeth jumped right in.
So what made you think balloon animals?
How did you find out about the balloon animals? There is a fantastic man who goes to Honduras, John Lobeck, and he would make balloon animals. I mean, his fingers were sore from tying balloons. He would make so many balloon animals, and I thought, what a great ministry that is. That morning when I got up, I thought, we have not done any balloon animals. I don't know why. So I put the balloons and the pump in my bag, and we went out, and again, we were ministering to people, and we had not at that point come across any children. Today we came across children. That's God. All God. There was 3 little beauties, and we made animals with them. They were waiting for their mom to come, so we were just able to talk and have some conversation with them. When we were leaving, they were all battling, and the one had her little poodle, and they were just so excited. Little balloon, you know, how much does the little balloon cost? And it just brought them such joy.
On Workday 4, we helped sort clothing for the homeless ministry, while others helped at the thrift store. This was at around 10 o'clock at night after we had some sweet time in prayer and worship, praising the Lord for how amazing and awesome He is. And here is a picture of Elizabeth holding the roses that we passed out to the women on the streets that night. We gave them food, a rose, and a small care package and offered to pray with them.
One of our ministries that we did was called the Rose of Sharon. And the gal that led this had gone through the program. The gal that was leading the Rose of Sharon had been on the streets, and she was now giving back. I think she said 4 years ago she had been in this situation.
It is an organization that was started by this woman to basically go into the rings of sex slavery and prostitution and offer the women help. So Michelle brought over 12 roses, and we all prayed over them and anointed them with oil.
Again, we were out on our van, our bus, and if they would see a woman walking or standing, she would lead the group and say, we're going to go out and talk to this person. We're going to go out and offer prayer or whatever it might be. And so we would go out in our teams again, so a couple of us at a time. You don't want everybody get off the van and be overwhelming. Go up to the person, hand them a rose, and the leader always would say, and I think this must have came from something in her background, I see you. You are not alone. Somebody cares. We care. We just want you to know that. So they would hand her that rose and hand her a different care package just for her.
Crystal had informed us that we only had a 3-minute window to speak to the girls before their pimps, or basically whoever owned them, would come around to make sure that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. If the girls had lost eye contact, or if they were like looking around, they were basically giving you a hint to leave them alone because their pimp were watching them pretty closely and it could get dangerous.
The lady told us before we went, they said, if they do not make eye contact with you, they're being watched. And she said, and when I tap you on the shoulder, we have to go. We went out to one. I was trying to pray with her, and she wouldn't make eye contact. And I could see in her eyes, you could see that she doesn't want to live that lifestyle. And I felt, wow, why couldn't I have had more time? Or why couldn't we have had more time to talk? But they gave her a card that's attached to the rose, and it's got a phone number and to call if they want to get out, and they'll go and get them and take them out.
Elizabeth and I were partners for the night. We grabbed a rose and a bagged meal and headed out the door. The woman that we were trying to talk to quickly turned around and walked away. Once she got to the corner, Crystal told us to turn around, that her pimp was right there watching her. This is where I was thinking to myself that this is real. Growing up in a small town and even living in a big city now, I didn't know that this was really a thing anymore. Not only did we approach single girls on the side of the road, but we also had the chance to go into a couple of different hotels where it was like a prostitution ring, I guess you could say. And I happened to look over, and this young girl, she couldn't have been more than 18 years old, took the money from a dude, and they proceeded to walk into one of the hotel rooms. And it was just a gut-wrenching feeling. Like, you knew what was about to happen. You knew what was going to take place. That was pretty emotional for me.
I loved praying in front of a shut down hotel. Elizabeth prayed, and we all prayed with her, that it would be used for godly purposes. It had been shut down because of illegal activities there, and I really believe that God can do miracles, and He can create beauty from ashes.
Personally, I really felt God there that night in those prayers, and being able to pray over the building was shining God's light in the darkness and reminding us that God is the light in the darkness, to focus it back on Him, that He is in control over hotels or buildings themselves. He is in control, and to just be able to give that to Him and pray for it. And for me, that was probably one of the most impactful nights.
On this trip, I learned that my God is greater than anything Satan can deal out, anything, and that He walks with me absolutely every step of the way through some very, like I've said, difficult situations, very scary places. It was intense. If I could say what the word was for this trip, it was intense. Over and over, He proved Himself to be an awesome God to serve.
I think for me, realizing that God is doing so much more than I think. I'm just one person. I can't do it all. He is bigger than that, bigger than my little imagination. He is working everywhere, in every different aspect, and in different cities. And the amount of ministry that is getting done there was very empowering.
What I had learned about myself on the trip is that I am capable. I am capable of doing the hard things. I just need to keep showing up. I believe that the Lord is calling me to this line of work, which I never thought I would be doing. I have reached out to a couple of different organizations down here in Nashville. I'm having faith that if they don't contact me back, that the Lord will give me provision to start something of my own.
For people who might be reluctant to even consider it, I say you need to consider it, because I was reluctant. I thought, what am I doing? I'm not qualified to go in here, and I certainly don't pray well, and I wouldn't know what to say to somebody I don't know. God gives you the words. God gives you exactly what you need at exact moment that you need it. So if I could say anything to you, go on the trip and let God do His thing. Just release whatever you think you need to do on the trip and let Him work through you, and He will.
I remember the first time that I was on that bus to go talk to these homeless people, and I was scared out of my mind. I was like, I'm not capable. I can't do this. I don't have the words. And I was just praying that the Lord would give me the words and guide me and all this stuff. And the first homeless person I walked to, it was like something overpowered me and was giving me the words and giving me the strength. And the wisdom on how to speak to these people, and I thank God for that. So if you're nervous about it, don't be. Sign up, start praying for peace and for wisdom and for strength.
A lot of people are afraid because of Chicago. But you know, when you have the Lord, you have the joy, and we were walking, we were laughing, we were talking. I didn't feel any fear. And there's nothing to fear, because if you trust the Lord and this is something in your heart that you want to do, there's nothing to fear. I mean, if you said, "Oh, what do you think, Vic? What do you think I should go?" Yeah, if the Lord puts it on your heart, go. It's an experience that you'll never ever forget.
Rather than like other mission trips, it's less about doing, you know, the heavy labor. But it was very personal. Like, you met people and you had conversations with people, and so it was on a very personal basis. So everyone should go.
Everybody should go, yes. Afterwards, when we had kind of a conversation on the way home, would we do this again? Is this something that we should consider doing again? Everybody, every single person said, yes, we are going to do this again.
We all talked about, when can we go? When we want to go back, I want to go back. And we do. It's an awesome experience to show God's love to people that are lost.